I'm joined now by actor Jason Biggs. You know him from American Pie, Orange is the New Black, and so much more. And now he's starring in a new show on Fox called Unmatched. Good morning.
Hey, Zach.
Hi, it's so good to see you.
Nice to see you, too.
You're just so cheery and happy every time I see you around on TV anywhere.
Oh, my gosh. Thanks.
It's so great. So anyway,
it's a farce.
It's a farce.
It's an
Like,
act.
I'm faking it.
Yeah. I'm a really good actor.
You are. So let's talk about that good acting. Well, we're going to get to that first, but let's take a look at your new show, Outmatch, and then talk about your good acting.
Grandma and Grandpa are coming, yay!
Seriously? It's like being visited by two time travelers here to tell us which stores used to be other stores.
Okay, listen, I know having them here isn't always easy.
But you have to understand, they come from a generation where food and criticism are how you show love.
Let's be honest. Thanks to technology, the oral tradition that once made Grandma and Grandpa relevant has been rendered obsolete. They're the AOL of people.
They do make weird sounds when starting up.
And they love telling us when we have mail, but that's helpful.
Is it Bergen?
Yeah, Bergen County.
Oh, hi. Sorry, we were just having a quick chat. Old girlfriends catching up, really. Well, okay. So this show, you are the parent of three really brilliant kids and one normal one, which that is hilarious. Y'all call this person normal because that is a way to describe.
Totally.
But it's this really interesting show about you raising some kids, in which you are a dad. So talk to me first about your own kids being able to see this content. What are they thinking as they're watching you be a dad on screen?
At first, I first told them about the show. You know, they knew I was going out to LA for work, and so I wanted to give them some context of, what Daddy was working on. And I think I showed them a picture from the pilot episode of myself with my TV family. And the reaction was, the little guy, my 2-year-old, kind of went over his head, but my 6-year-old was a little, maybe a little jealous.
Really?
I think, yeah. But, but it was cute. He just, I don't know, it took him a second to sort of fully understand that, they were pretend family. They're not like, he's not being replaced.
So he thought he was being replaced for a second.
Maybe for a brief moment.
The therapy bills that are about to
they're right. Well, you raise your kids to know that they have therapy in the future, right? And so, at least that's how we're doing it. I FaceTime with the kids as much as I can. They're here in New York and I'm working out in LA. And so I FaceTime with them. And at one point I FaceTime from set. And because I thought it would be cool, I thought Sid, my oldest, would be psyched to see like all the cameras and the whole thing. He hasn't been to too many sets of mine, so it's still very cool and kind of foreign. And he was loving it. And then he caught a glimpse of one of my TV kids in the background. And he's like, who's that?
So they haven't met in real life yet?
They have not met in real life.
Are you nervous about that meeting if it was to happen? It sounds like he's going to throw hands.
He might throw hands. Yeah, he might throw hands. He might step to him a little. We'll see. We'll see. Listen, I can't. But I got to let my son be his own man. Okay. Be his own person. So if he wants to step, he's going to step.
All right.
Boy, you're going to step. He's going to step.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
But it's funny. But we showed them. We showed my son scenes from the first episode. The whole thing is sort of over their head, and some of it's a little too. I think last week's episode we had the sex talk with our kids, so it's a little advanced. But I wanted to show him some scenes because he knows I'm going out to LA every week, and he knows I'm working on something. So I wanted to kind of show him, and I tell you, the look on his face, I don't even know that he was taking in so much the context or the subject matter. It was just watching his dad. And I've popped up on TV a couple times, but I don't know what it was about seeing me on TV now. It really he was so proud. Yeah, well, it was so moving. It was like the cutest thing I've ever seen.
That's so good. Yeah. Well, speaking of family pride, I want to read you a tweet here that we found this morning, and it's from Madam Potstein. So it says, deeply moved by Jason Biggs' mom plugging her son's show in the Bergen County Moms Facebook group. So did you see this tweet or this screenshot? And what's it like to have your mom being your best publicist in your home county?
She's funny because my other publicist, my real publicist is right over here. And you're fired because my mom's taking over. My mom has been my biggest fan and biggest supporter since day one. Day one, mind you, was in 1983.
Okay.
And she was obviously, I was 5 years old. So she was my manager. She was my publicist. She was my chauffeur from Bergen County into New York City for auditions, for work. She traveled with me to LA. She gave up her job so that I could work when I needed to work. And so, my mom is very invested and very proud.
And doing a lot of work too, labor.
And doing some real work. And so, yeah, she always, in fact, yesterday I made the mistake of, I was on another talk show and I forgot to tell her that I was doing it. And one of her friends, wrote her afterwards, like, oh, I saw Jason on, such and such show. And she texted me immediately. She's like, Jace, you didn't tell me you were on the thing. I would have recorded it. I was like, Ma, I'll send you the link. I'm so sorry. I didn't know she was going to do. She took there's a Bergen County mom's Facebook page.
There's a Bergen County mom's Facebook page. My producer, Julia, found it. And I was like, wow, one, you're really doing your job out here. Because she was going deep into her research.
Look, she's hustling, man.
She's hustling. She's making these checks.
I don't remember my real publicist, who I pay a lot of money to, checking in with the Bergen County mom's Facebook group.
Well, we will discuss this later.
Talk about leaving some stones unturned.
All right, so your family and you are very, very close. And, you all did grow up in Jersey, Bergen County, which is right across the bridge from us right here.
Yep.
And Outmatched takes place in Atlantic City, which is really close.
Yeah.
So people talk a lot of shit about New Jersey. What is your response to them when they're talking their shit?
Oh my gosh, I get very defensive.
Okay.
Because for two things. Number one, I feel like a lot of time they're saying that based on a very limited sort of understanding and perspective and experience with New Jersey, right? They fly into Newark, they drive into the city, they see oil refineries, they see, landfills, lots of traffic, what have you, crazy Jersey drivers, and then they end up in New York and they're like, oh, Jersey. My gosh.
What did I just go through?
But two responses to that. Number one is, there's way more to Jersey than that. Really, really beautiful parts of New Jersey that are not industrial, not urban, really gorgeous. It's the Garden State after all. But number two, I love the industrial part of New Jersey. I mean, I grew up in, suburban, but also it's part of the New York City metropolitan area. So it's busy, it's congested, you could see the skyline. It's so close, it's so far away. I love the grittiness too. I think it's beautiful. I love Turnpike and the smells of the oil refineries. I don't know what it is.
I don't know if you're selling this for me because you're like, I love that there's some dirt, there's some smells, there's some this, there's some that.
Listen, I love pollution. I just absolutely love coming home at the end of the day and feeling like there's an inch of grime on my body.
It makes you feel alive.
Yeah.
Like, completely.
I love throwing trash out of my car window. Who doesn't?
You know what? I have to keep us moving because we're on Twitter. I know you're joking, but we need people to know that you're joking.
I'm joking.
All right, so switching gears a bit. You were in Orange is the New Black, which just ended, which was an incredible show, and you played Larry, who had a good ending with the series.
Yeah.
What was it like to be a part of that series?
It was quite a ride. It was to be a part of it in the very beginning was amazing. It was the first time since American Pie that I was part of this thing that we filmed, and it felt like we were filming something really special, and that we were part of something. And then it was released, and it became this sort of big thing. It touched, it became part of the cultural zeitgeist, And so for me to be a part of that twice with American Pie and then Orange is the New Black was pretty amazing. And also that cast was incredible, and a lot of new, people that were introduced to the world. And so it was fun to be with them as they were going through this as well. And, but it was interesting because my character was very polarizing.
Yes.
And, that was kind of a new experience for me. I also loved Larry. I found myself defending Larry quite a bit.
Like pollution.
Look, Larry loves pollution as well. And so what? So what? I mean, the world's going to hell anyway, guys. What's the big deal? Anyway, no, it was kind of wild, and I'd get these comments. I mean, people were super invested in not just the show, but that sort of triangle, and particularly that relationship with Piper and Alex. They really got behind it, understandably. And so Larry became this sort of you know, it was a
divisive figure for people.
Divisive figure for people.
People were really invested in him. And I think, like, you brought this up. American Pie, Orange is the New Black are two pieces of content or projects that people have a lot of feelings about. But let's talk about American Pie. It turns 21 this year, I think.
Yeah, it can drink.
It can drink full-grown ass person.
Yeah.
Older than who your character was.
Yeah.
Why do you think that film continues to resonate with people so much?
It's a really good question. Well, now I feel like it's resonating because it is a bit of a time capsule. Yeah. I mean, it really, it represented a generation, I think, of people. You know, for a lot of people, it was their comedy. People that are obviously my age, so it's wild to be, to meet people that are, 40 plus, 50 years old going, oh my God, I grew up with you. Yeah. And it's like, wait a second, oh God, all right, I'm 42 years old, like, FML. But yeah, it's also wild to have like the teenage kids of people who were fans of it come up to me and go, my dad is such a huge fan of yours. And I'm like,
it's a bit sobering.
Thank your dad for me, I guess. But yeah, I also feel like it just sort of represents a certain time.
Yeah.
And it was a very specific time. It was right as the internet was starting. We had that whole scene with the internet camera, which by the way would never get made now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that because that is like so for people that don't know, this is a scene in which the exchange student is in your house.
Yeah.
And you film her.
Unbeknownst to her.
Unbeknownst to her.
Yeah.
So talk to us about that scene. How would that,
Well, it wouldn't get made now. And it couldn't get made now. It certainly, it would be unacceptable, I mean, what that represents. But at the time, I remember reading the script and reading that part and being shocked that there was cameras on computers.
Yeah.
That's what I took away from it originally. But, it's interesting how, I was so young, but it's interesting just like the things that were considered sort of okay or normal. But, we're talking 21 years ago. I mean, that's a full generation ago. And, understandably, it wouldn't get made now. But it's I'm still proud of the movie and my involvement in it, and people's response to it, and
Yeah. So what do you think about the new versions of, I guess, American Pie? So I'm thinking about like Sex Education is a part of that raunchy teen comedy genre that we all love. That I think your film really kind of created for us, but it's doing it in this really nuanced way. So have you seen Sex Education?
I have not, no.
So do you think that these films, if they're going to be made, they need to have harder conversations around like consent to race and all these things?
Well, I think so because that's reality.
Yeah.
I mean, you want it to reflect what is happening, right? So people are having these conversations as they should be. And so, again, like the internet has changed everything, but specific to sex and teens, the conversation is totally different now than it was 20 plus years ago. So, the art that's made surrounding it needs to be totally different. And so, I think it's great. And it also has to be nuanced. And it also has to, in a lot of ways, I feel like we're anesthetized to things now. I mean, even American Pie, some of the big sight gags, they wouldn't even, it works in the context of knowing that the movie came out 21 years ago. You go, oh my God, he is fucking a pie.
Yeah.
But, sorry.
No, you can say that.
Okay.
Fucking a pie.
Yeah,
there we go.
Thank you. But, now it's like we've seen so much since then.
Yeah. We have, and we're almost on time, but I want to talk about one thing we have seen so much of since then that would really, I think, surprise people. And we have a tweet here from Dave Horowitz about one of your American Pie co-stars, Eugene Levy.
Yep.
This is the glow up no one's brave enough to talk about. So Eugene has become this sort of thirst trap lately, especially with Schitt's Creek becoming so popular.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about his new, hot dad status?
Oh my God. Well, first of all, I am not that up to date, I guess, on millennial speak. What does glow up mean?
Glow up means, wow, okay, so we're gonna break this down. Glow up means that you've gotten better. So you're glowing more, like your brightness got brighter. So glow up.
I met a Formula One driver, sidebar, I met a Formula One driver who I'm a big fan of the other day in the airport. But he's, all these guys are like, it's so surprising when you meet them because they're like, oh, you're 20 years younger than me. But I'm such a huge fan of yours. And I met him and he literally said to me, he goes, I was low-key big fan of yours growing up. And I was like, thank you? I heard low in there. So at first I was like, but low-key is,
It just means he didn't talk about it that much. He doesn't talk about it. Yeah, low key, glow up. Yeah, these. Wow,
I felt like it contradicted each other. Like low key, big fan. I was like, I was a big fan, but not really.
It means he was like a secret stan. Do you know stan culture?
Stan, I think, is like obsessed, like because that's like Eminem.
Eminem, look, you got it.
It's literally like I'm speaking German to you right now.
Wow, this is really fascinating.
Okay. Anyway, Eugene is.
Yes, it's not hot.
Dude, the glasses. Dude, he's looking good these days. He certainly has aged very well. He has. He's the best. I love Eugene. I'm glad he deserves whatever you glow up, whatever, low key.
High key.
He deserves it all. High heat.
High key. I said high key. But
high key, whatever. He's all of the above.
Yeah. All right. So before I let you go, what lessons do you think Eugene taught you about being an on-screen dad that you're now applying on Outmatched?
Well, lead with your heart. I mean, I found that we're making comedy, obviously, but I mean, this is a kind of a lesson in general, performance in comedy in general. He's taught me so much. But one of the biggest things is, it needs to be as grounded in reality as possible. So, you can go to these extremes, whether it's with a pie or dealing with 3 genius kids on a very, very broad multi-camera sitcom. It's all fine and good as long as you're grounding your performance in reality. And so, and there's heart to it. So, that's something Eugene brings just innately.
Yes.
And, I'm doing my best to...
You're really out here.
I'm out here, man.
For the kids, you got people watching, your mom, your son.
Dude, my mom, and all of Bergen County Facebook Moms group.
Bergen County Facebook Moms.
No thanks to my real publicist.
Well, thank you, Jason, for being here today. It's been lovely to share with you, all these fun little tidbits of knowledge and Bergen County publicists.
Thanks for teaching me how to speak millennials.
You're welcome. It's what BuzzFeed's here for. All right. Well, y'all can watch Outmatched Thursdays at 8:30 on Fox. Up next, Alex is chatting with To All the Boys I've Loved Before author Jenny Han. Stay tuned.